Hello everyone. In this session, we will be doing the project for a food delivery app, which is a dummy data for Swiggy. Whenever we are doing the projects, the first thing to do is make some problem statements and ask yourself or the stakeholders that what is the result that I want to achieve with the help of this particular project? What are the business insights that I need to find out with the help of this project? Usually, whenever we are dealing with a food delivery dataset, the first thing we need to do is get familiar about the process that we follow when we are using that app. We use that app for ordering food, and while ordering the food, there may be multiple factors that you can consider and multiple steps that you go through to choose a specific food restaurant. For example, let's say you are ordering food late night. At that time, you would be looking at few things like whether the restaurant is available at the time when you are going to order your food or not. Would it be delivering at that particular time? Is the option of payment that you need is working? It can happen that maybe you choose cash on delivery option, which is not supported by the restaurant whether or not the restaurant is nearby, and this would increase the chances of the faster delivery or other benefits such as food will be hot and also you would be able to save some extra amount of money on the delivery fees. Then we have the budget option, whether or not that food is fitting in your budget. We also have the option to see the rating for a restaurant and the items which we are ordering. The more number of people who have ordered from a particular restaurant and that particular item, the more likely it would be able to help us make a better and informed decision. Sometimes we are not able to decide what can we order from a particular restaurant. And at that time, the recommendation would work very well. We can see that whatever most number of users have ordered from the restaurant, that is their best selling dish. All these things could be very helpful when you are trying to create a problem statement for your project. Whenever we are creating any dashboard for a particular data set, we don't tend to include all the information in it and make it more complex. Rather than it becomes very important for us to highlight few important things and with the help of our problem statement, this would be then included in our dashboard. We will be keeping all these things in mind and then we will be proceeding with to create our dashboard for a food delivery app. When in previous session we were on Tableau Prep, we have already cleaned our data and this is the same data that we will be using for the purpose of this project. So let's see how can we load this data set and create a. So I know the data set that I used belongs to MS Excel file. So over here, in the left hand side, we have connect option. Here I can choose the file as Microsoft Excel and I can choose my desired data set. The data set which I'm using is clean Swiggy data. So I'll be choosing it and click on OK. I will allow it some moment to load that data. After it has loaded our data, I know my data set only contains one sheet. So let's try to look at the data set and what are the values that it contains. Still loading. So in the data set, the first column that we have is for the cuisines. And here are multiple type of cuisines that are listed. Then we have restaurant ID, we have restaurant name, and you can see these restaurant names are repeating. So we would be following a process to clean this. And by cleaning, I don't mean we would be removing it. Whenever we are making any visualization, we will be taking such aggregation measure that this restaurant name appears only once and it takes all the values into consideration. Then we have the country code, city in which that restaurant is, and also the country in which that restaurant is. So instead of the country code, I will make it a bit clean and I would make it country. Then we have address, we have locality, locality verbose, longitude and latitude, which is basically used to create a map. Then we have currency. What is the currency that is accepted by that restaurant? Then we have the options that whether or not the restaurant supports table booking and also does it supports online delivery or not. Sometimes there are few restaurants which only support online delivery and they do not support a table booking feature. And the thing is vice versa. So any restaurant can also support table booking, but it cannot provide online delivery option as well. Whether or not that restaurant is delivering now, whether or not we have the option to switch to order menu. What is the price range of that restaurant? This price range ranges from 1 to 5. Then we have the votes, how many people have voted for that particular restaurant, what is the average cost for two people, and what is the rating for that particular restaurant. So we'll be taking all these things on our mind and we'll be creating a visualization based on these values only. So let's go to the first sheet. Now, the first thing that we will be doing is we will create a visualization for the number of restaurants in a country. For that, we will be choosing a text table. So over here, I have these restaurant IDs and restaurant name as well. So what you can do is either you can choose this restaurant name or restaurant ID. It would be great to indicate in what country how many restaurants are over there. So for total of them, what I'll do is I will double click on this restaurant ID and it is showing me the complete list of this aggregation. Now I don't need this restaurant ID like this. I want to see the sum of it. For that, I will go in the measure. I will choose the sum. And over here, instead of this rows, I will put it in label. So now I can see the sum of these restaurants. Over here, what I can do is instead of sum of measure, this time let's choose count distinct. So now it is showing me all the distinct count of that particular restaurant. Because our restaurant ID contains a numeric column. That's why I performed that step. I wanted to show you that whenever you are dealing with these kind of values, so let's say if I'm going in the restaurant ID, so here you can see these are some numeric values, and whenever you are taking sum, it would be just adding these up. So instead of that, what you can do is, since we know we won't be using these restaurant IDs to do some sum or do some average. So in that case, you can choose this from number and you can just convert it into a form of, let's say, string. So your data would be easier to analyze. For now, I am not choosing this option. I'll be just using this option to show my whole count. So over here, I have chosen the count as distinct for all the restaurant IDs. Now I can give the name as the overall restaurants or the total number of restaurants. So for that, I will right click on my sheet, rename it, and I will choose the value as total number of restaurants. Now, whatever data set I'm using belongs to a food delivery app. So I need to match the color scheme according to that particular food delivery app so that everything looks uniform. Whatever sheets I will be making, whatever dashboard I will be creating, I will be using the same color scheme. So the color scheme for that particular food delivery app is black and a shade of orange. So let me then change this whole sheet into that color scheme. First of all, I need to bring this value in the center over here. So whenever I am choosing this value on the dashboard, it should appear on the center. For that, you can go in the text option. Over here in the alignment option, you can choose this horizontal alignment center, and you can also choose this vertical alignment center. After that, you can fit this in the entire view and you can see it has now come in center. Double click on the sheet title, select the sheet title and also bring it in center. Now you can change this sheet size according to your need. So whatever text is shown over there, right now 15 looks fine to me. So I'll be going with 15. But if while making the dashboard or while creating the another sheet, if this text seems small or big to me, I'll be changing the size from over here. Let me make it bold and change the color to orange. I will be doing the same thing with this text. So I will go in the text option and over here in the text option, I will choose the color. First, I will select this, change the color to orange, click on apply and OK. Now the color scheme has been changed to orange for font. Now I need to make this whole sheet as black. For that, I can right click on the sheet, go to format option and over here in the shading option, I can choose this worksheet color to be black. Now this looks good to me and this is matching the color scheme for food delivery app. The next chart that we'll be making is the visualization for number of cities in a particular country. For that, what I can do is I can create a new sheet. Here I'll be choosing. So here you can see the country code and the city is creating a hierarchy. So sometimes what would happen is if that particular data is following some hierarchy, this hierarchies would be automatically created. So in that case, what you need to do is you need to come over here on the top of hierarchy, then click on this arrow and you can choose the option to remove the hierarchy and it would remove that hierarchy for you. Now, also for this country code, you can just select it. I will just press Ctrl Z. Okay. So now what I'll be doing is I will be going to city and I will be putting it into text. Now it is showing me the list of all the cities in which that delivery app is accessible and it is servicing in those countries and cities. So these are the cities belonging to various countries. So now instead of the names, I need to show the numbers. So I will again go in the city option. Here in the measure option, I will be choosing the option of count distinct. So right now it is showing me that number. Again, to match the formatting with your previous sheet, what you can do is you can go in the previous sheet, right click and use this copy formatting option. After you have copied the formatting, then you need to go in the sheet 2 Right click and choose the paste formatting option, and it would make that sheet format same as the previous sheet. Now the thing to notice is the text will not be following any kind of formatting from the previous sheets. So here the formatting of text needs to be done separately. For that, I will again go in the text option. I will choose this alignment. So alignment looks fine to me. So I will go in the text option, select it, and I will change the color to orange. Click on apply. Okay. I will choose this whole visualization to fit in the entire view. For the sheet 2, the name that I will be using is the number of cities in a particular country. So here I can double click on this sheet name, select it, and choose the text as number of cities in country. Select this text, make it orange, apply, okay. If you want to bring it in center, again you can double click on it, select it, and choose the alignment as center. So now this is also done. The next visual that we are going to make is the restaurants in a particular city. So think about this. So first I'll be telling you about the approach that we are following. We are going on an approach that a dashboard will have the visualizations where the user can see what are the number of restaurants in a country. Then the next visual would be showing the number of cities in a country whose restaurants are being listed. And then we would be having a visual where the number of restaurants in a city would be shown. This approach will help the users to first identify the country and then the city. And at the same time, they would be able to see the changing number of the restaurants in that particular city. So now let's create this dashboard where we will be creating the restaurants per city. So again, for that, what I'll be doing is first let me change the name of this sheet. So I will select this, okay, and I will do the right click over here. The sheet 2 option, I can just rename it and I can name it as number of cities in country. Now we want to see the restaurants in a particular city. For that, I will be choosing this restaurant ID, putting it in text. Again, this restaurant ID is showing me the IDs of all the restaurants. So I will be choosing this and I will be choosing the measure as count distinct. It is showing me the list of all the restaurants that are there. So now the thing is that you want to see the restaurants per city option. For that, what you can do is you can take the distinct count of city and put the country and city in that filter option. So I'll be using this city option and I will be putting it in the filter option. And here we are having all the cities that are present in our list. So just click on apply and okay. And over here, what you can do is then whenever a city is chosen, let's say if I just edit this filter, or maybe I include all the values and click on apply, it is showing me the values of all the restaurants in those cities. But if you show this filter and then if you are making any changes in the filter, so right now it is showing me the value as 9551. So let's turn off few cities from over here. You can see that the number of restaurants are now decreasing. This is because the number of restaurants in these cities are now being taken out from that whole list. That's why this number is decreasing. So if you choose all the restaurant number would be shown over here. So this is very similar to the total number of restaurants. In the total number of restaurants, we were only showing the whole number of restaurants, but over here, the numbers would be changing based on the cities that we are using. So a good thing to do would be just copy this visual. So I will select this, choose duplicate option. I will bring it over here. And now over here, I can just rename it as total number of restaurants in city. So this is another way to do some visualization. And over here, we don't need to create the same kind of visualization again. What we would be basically doing is we will be just applying the filter over here directly. So over here, I will be just choosing this filter and applying directly. I will choose all for now, click on all, okay. And if you want to show the filter also, you can come over here and choose show filter option. This would be showing all the filters over here. Now, the next thing to do would be create a next visual. In the next visual, we will be creating the city names with maximum restaurants. So first, we need to find what are the cities in which most number of restaurants are present. For that, just choose the city option. So I will double click on the city. So you can see when you double click on the city, it generates this longitude and latitude for you. So now no need to see this longitude and latitude feature. Just go on the show me option and choose the text table if it is shown. So here we have this text table. After that, what you need to do is you need to double click on this restaurant ID. So now you can see the restaurant IDs for that particular city. These restaurant IDs should also be in the count feature. So I will just click over here. I will choose the measure to be count. Okay. Now just drag it over here and put it in the label option. So now you can easily see Abu Dhabi has 20 restaurants, Agra has 20 restaurants, Ahmedabad has 21 restaurants. So why not arrange it in descending order so that we can see it in the descending form that which city is having most number of restaurants. So I will click over here. You can see New Delhi is having highest number of restaurants followed by Gurgaon, Noida and Faridabad. Now this is very complicated to see. So let's try to convert it into a different visual. I will go in the show me option and I will choose this horizontal bar graph. After you have chosen this horizontal bar graph, again you need to sort it in the descending order. Now let's say if you only want to see the top 5 values, what would you do? We have already learned about the top filter. So we can use this top filter and we can use this to just filter out the top 5 values of the cities in which maximum number of restaurants are there. First, let me rename this sheet 4 and I will say this top 5 cities with maximum restaurants. Let's copy this text. Okay. Now I will go in the city option. I will go in the filter option and put it there. Then you need to go in the top option, go in the by field option, and over here you can see it has automatically took restaurant IDs count. I need to see only the top 5 values. So instead of 10 over here, I will put the value as 5, click on apply and OK. Now you can see the top 5 cities with maximum number of restaurants. Fit this in the entire view and now you need to match the formatting these previous visualizations. So I will go over here in the colors option. I will choose this orange for the bars. Now I will right click over here on the sheet, go to the format option and over here in this shading option, I will choose the worksheet color be black. Now this worksheet color and also the background color of these bars are matching with the previous visualizations. Again, double click on the text, choose the text and make the color as orange, make it center aligned, click on apply. Okay. You can also make it capital. If it's not being good to you, you can easily make it capital. Go over here in the sheet name, click on rename and over here instead of small t, choose capital T. Now this looks nice to me. What more I can do is I can even hide these headers and I can also hide these grid lines. So over here in the lines option, if you go in these grid lines, you can just turn off all these lines. So I can also turn off these reference lines, drop lines, and every line which is basically on right now, just choose the option as none. Go in the rows, go in the columns option. So I can choose these values to be none and now it looks clean to me. Now, if I need to hide this header, I can come over here, just click on a blank space and over here where it says show header option, just uncheck it. I also don't need these values. So 500, 1000, 1500, I don't need these values. I can click over here and I can uncheck this show header option. Now the thing to notice over here is I'm not able to identify what is this bar representing. The only thing that I'm able to identify is with the help of tooltip. So I will close this formatting option and over here I can drag this city and I can paste it in the labels. Also you can just drag this restaurant ID and put it in labels. So over here it is showing you restaurant ID in terms of all the numbers. So you can just click over here and you can choose a measure as count distinct. So it would be now showing you the distinct count of that particular city with all the restaurant numbers that are over. So this was the way in which we tried to create the top 5 cities with maximum number of restaurants. After we have created the cities with maximum restaurants, now we'll be finding the maximum number of restaurants in each city. For that, we need to put the distinct restaurant ID in the count section and we also need to put the city and country in the filters option. So how can we do it? Let's see. So we have already created this total number of restaurants. We have also created this number of cities in a country. So there are 141 cities. Then we created this total number of restaurants in a city, which was basically listing the all cities right now. But as soon as we will be applying these filters, it would be changing. Now the next thing to do over here is just right click on it, duplicate it, and over here where it says total number of restaurants in a city, Instead of that, I will be just putting this country option over here in filters. Now remember, this is not country code, it is a country name. So first select all the options, click on apply and OK. And instead of the country code, I will just rename this value to say country so that it doesn't confuses us. Okay. I will just bring it back over here and I can rename it as it should say total number of restaurants in a country so that we can apply the filter of country first and then we can apply the filter of city first. So all these visualizations would be looking same to you for now. But when we'll be putting them in the dashboard one by one, we'll be seeing which is the most useful for us. And then accordingly, we'll be seeing what is the change that is happening in one of them and how the other responds with that. I can just change the text also. Let's make it capital instead of small over here. After that, we need to find out the 5 most served cuisines. So what are the 5 most served cuisines? For that, I know I have this option of cuisines. So just double click on these cuisines. You can see these cuisines would be appearing over here. Now, how would you identify which are the restaurants who are serving these cuisines? So for that, I can double click on these restaurant IDs. These restaurant IDs are shown as these IDs. Instead of that, what I will be doing is I will just click over here and choose the measure to be distinct. You can see this is now appearing in the form of this bar chart. So over here, you have two options. Either you can show it in the form of this bar chart, and after you have chosen the bar chart option, you can just arrange it in the descending or ascending order. So this would be basically the same thing that you have done the top 5 cities with maximum restaurants. But let's try to choose a different way for now. So you remember packed bubbles. We have chosen the packed bubbles to show the different items, and based on those items, the size of the bubble was changing. So here I'll be doing the same thing, but instead of these multiple bars over here or the bubbles over here, I'll be choosing the text. So now how to do that part? So for that, what you can do is you can put this count distinct in this size option. After you have put this count distinct in this size option, you can see this map would be appearing over. So now I don't need this map over here in the marks where it says automatic. Instead of the automatic, you can go in the text option. Now the text option has been applied to that. Give me a moment. So now you are looking at this map would be appearing. I don't need this map. So what I can do is I can drag this cuisine over here in this labels option. Now the labels are there and the count of distinct restaurant IDs over there. Now this map is again appearing over here. This is because in the mark section, we have this automatically option choose it. Instead of the automatic option, you can go with this text option. Now you can see, and you can see it is a kind of Google that appears in multiple places. Whenever you are going to any company, have seen there are this skill metrics which are written over there. On these skill metrics, some are highlighted with the full letters, big letters, while others are just some small things. So in the same way, all these things are coming up. So these are the all the cuisines that are being served at different restaurants, and whatever restaurants are serving the most number of cuisines, their size have increased. So North Indian is the one which is most served in multiple restaurants. Now again, what I need to do is I need to match the formatting of this with our other visualizations. For that, I will be going in a previous visualization. Just click on it, choose copy formatting. I will go in this new sheet, right click and choose paste format. Now you need to change the color of this text also. So go in the text option over here. You can choose the text and then you can change the color to orange. Click on apply and OK. Make this to fit in the entire view and now it looks good. After that, we need to change the sheet name. So over here in the sheet name, I can write the name as most served cuisines. Okay. After we have found out the most served cuisines, what we can do is if you let's say if you want to find out the top 5 cuisines also, you can do it. For that, I will again go over here and click on the new sheet. And this time again choosing the cuisines, I'm choosing the restaurant IDs. I will make this restaurant IDs to be distinct, arrange it in descending order, and over here, the filters option, I will be putting in cuisines. Now you need to go in the top option by field option. So over here, what we are trying to do is we are trying to create the top 5 cuisines based on some restaurant IDs. So for that, I'm going in the top option by field option, and over here, I'm choosing top 5 option. Click on apply and OK. and this would give you the list of top 5 cuisines. So I can just fit it in the entire view. I can just rename the sheet over here. So first, let's paste formatting and rename the sheet to top 5 cuisines. Okay. And over here, where it was saying most served cuisines, instead of the most served cuisines, I may also write all the cuisines. Okay. So that would be giving me a good idea that these are all the cuisines that are being served at some restaurant. After we have made these 5 most served cuisines, what we would be doing is we would be finding out the most liked cuisines. These most liked cuisines are the basic ones that we have already created. But for that, what I will be doing is I would be applying some filter on the top. Let's say that if you choose a different country, for example, if you just put this countries in the filter, click on apply and OK. Now, let's say I'm showing this filter over here. I know North Indian is famous in India only. But let's say if we are talking about any other country, let's say if we are talking about Indonesia, what is the kind of food that people prefer over there? So I will just uncheck all the values over here and click on Indonesia. So now you can see this has now changed. This is because it is showing you only the cuisines which are famous in a particular country. If you choose any other country, for example, if you choose Canada, you can see the value has now been changed to Western. Western is the one which is pretty famous over there. And combined, it is famous in Canada as well as Indonesia. If I again choose Indian, you can see North Indian is the one which is coming. This may be happening because there are multiple number of restaurants, and there may be a country with multiple number of restaurants in which a single type of cuisine is being served. So because that cuisine is being served in almost many restaurants, that restaurant's cuisine would be very famous. So that's why I can see these values. This has nothing to do with the user rating form. So in this way, you can put on the filters for the countries also. So we will be putting that filter in the visualization as well. And also we will be putting it in the dashboard so that we can sort these things over there. After we have made that filter, first we will be finding out what are the restaurants which are being mostly rated. So for that, you know that if you want to find out any restaurant which has been mostly rated, you can just put on the restaurant name over here and you can put the ratings also. So over here, these ratings are being coming in this form that it is taking the sum of all the ratings. I know that I don't want to take the sum of the ratings because if you go in the original data source and over here, if I scroll over here, you can see these ratings are like 4.8, 4.5 and all. When the number of restaurant appears more than once, these ratings would be summed. But I don't want these ratings to be summed. Instead of that, I want to find out the average rating. Let's see if a user has rated a restaurant 4.5 and another user has rated the same restaurant as 3.5. So then I need to find the average rating for those. So instead as sum of the rating, I will just click over here and I will be choosing the average option so that it can show me the average value of the ratings. Then again, you can sort it in the ascending or descending order as per your need. And over here, it is showing you the restaurant's name, which has been mostly rated. Now I don't need to see all the restaurant. So for that, what I can do is I can go in the top filter and I can choose a single restaurant name. So over here, what you can do is you can put this restaurant name in the text option and you can again put this restaurant name over here in the filters and you can go in the top option, choose the by field option, and you can just only enter the top one by average rating. Click on apply and OK. Just click over here if it is not showing you the entire value and click on the entire view so that that particular restaurant name should get a space to fit the size of that particular text. Again, I would be pasting the formatting in it. So right click on it and paste the formatting. Now you need to make this text in the center. So for that, go in the text option, choose this text option, select it, make it center aligned, change the color, or you can also increase the text size. So let's make it 15 for now and make it a bit more. Then I will be going in the alignment option and I will make it center aligned. Also in the vertical direction, I will be making it centrally aligned. Now it is up to you. If you don't want to see this rating, you can just skip this rating by just dragging this rating out of over here and it would only show you the restaurant's name based on the rating because this rating is already over here in the filters. When we were using the top option, we have already used this filter in that. Now, since we have already find out the most rated restaurants, now we need to find out the restaurant spread across the world. We know that our whole data set consists of the restaurants across the globe. So for that, I need to make some map out of it. For that, what I will be doing is I will be just choosing this country option and it would give the map name. Now you can see our data set consists of all the values with respect to these countries. So let's try to format this map up. For that, I can just copy this formatting, paste it over here. Now you can see the color of these dots have been changed. Then you can go in the map option. You can choose this background map option, and you can choose this. Let's say you want to go with the satellite maps because the satellite maps look good over here. After choosing this satellite map, what you can do additionally is you can change this dot to be in form of a icon. So let's say I don't want to see this. I want to change the shape of it. For that, I will be going the marks option. Instead of the automatic option, I will be choosing the shape option. Go in the shapes, more shapes. Over here where it says default, I can choose the custom option. Now, how this custom option works. Over here, if you go in the file option, we have the repository option. So in the repository option, we have all the values which Tableau takes with respect to that particular folder. So whatever values would be present in that folder or a particular image would be present in that folder, it would just automatically load it. So there is this shape folder where you can just download any shape and you can put it. So let's say all these shapes are present over there, but if you're not able to find your desired shape, you can put that particular shape in that folder, and then it would be showing you under this custom option. So I have already downloaded the Swiggy icon over here, and I can easily choose it after I have chosen the custom option. I can click on apply and OK, and you can see it now appears on the top of my map. Now this icon is very small. I want to make it big. So I will go in the size option and I will just increase the size of this icon. Now I can easily able to see it. Okay, it looks good to me right now. Again, you need to find out the serviceable cities. So for now, we are talking about the serviceable countries. But it might happen that in each country, let's say there are three cities in which the service is there for that food delivery. But in some countries, there may be multiple cities. So how would you identify in which city is servicing or in which city it is not servicing? For that, what I can do is I can just right click on this sheet. I can duplicate this sheet, and over here, I will be again getting this map option. Instead of the country in details, you can just drag this city in details. You can drag this country out of details and it would still show. But right now, since the filter may be applied, so some filters are applied over there, that's why it is not able to find out all the values. So to tackle that, you can just drag this city also in the details. So now all the cities are visible. Still, you would be seeing that there are 73 unknown values. These 73 unknown values represent all the cities which it is not able to identify. So the option to tackle this part would be just click over here, go in the edit location option, and you will be getting the list of all the cities. These are some of the cities. Basically, these cities are there for which it is not able to identify their names or which may be having some spelling mistakes. So in that case, what you can do is either you need to clean your data or you need to put some specific values over here. Let's say for this Bogor, it is not able to identify that where this city lies, or maybe this Augusta. So what you can do is you can click over here and you can put the correct value. After you have inputted the correct value, it would be then able to identify the value, and then it would be showing you that part in the map. For now, I'm not going through that process. I will just press cancel and I will ignore all the cities which it is not able to identify. So I can come over here, right click on it and choose hide indicator option. So now I have made this sheet. This sheet would be named as the serviceable cities. So I will right click over here, choose rename and choose serviceable cities. I will copy this and in the sheet 9 option, I will right click, rename it and make it serviceable countries. The sheet 8 that we made was the highest rated restaurant. So let's rename it highest rated restaurant. Okay. Now a thing to notice over here is that I have not done all the formattings over here. So let's do some formatting quickly for all the text so that our text matches everything when we are in our dashboard. So I will again go in all cuisines option and I will quickly do the formatting for all the text. Select the text, make the color as orange and bring it in center. This looks fine to me. I will choose all the options over here and I will just hide this filter for now. Top 5 cuisines also, I will select this text, make it orange and center aligned. I can even hide these headers over here. So for that, I will again just drag these cuisines over here in labels so that I can find out that all these things that are listed on this header are now listed over here. And over here, we have already took this restaurant's ID and it was distinct ID count. So I will again drag this restaurant ID over here in the labels and I will just make it distinct count. Okay, now I am able to see all the values as well. So I don't need these headers. So I can just uncheck it. Okay, so now I have these files. So after you have done this, again, you have to go in the highest rated restaurant, select this text, make it orange, center aligned, click on apply. Okay. Same thing over here in the serviceable countries option. Select it, make it orange, center aligned. And in the serviceable cities, I will do the same thing. Select the text, make it orange and center aligned. This is very helpful when you are trying to create a dashboard because if you don't have renamed your sheet, what would happen over there is, let's say I'm having this sheet 11 on which I have not placed any kind of visualization for now. And also this has not been renamed. So whenever you are creating a new dashboard over here, all the things will be listed over here. So it would be very easy to identify if you have named your sheet. If you haven't named your sheet, the sheet would be appearing like this: sheet 11, sheet 5, sheet 6, and it would be very difficult for you to identify what is the particular graph that this sheet has. So right now I will delete this for now. Now after creating all these visuals, the next visuals remain for the restaurants spread across India that we have already created. So let's say we have already created the serviceable cities, but if you don't want to see all the cities over here, you just want to see the restaurants among India. So for that, what I will be doing is I will put this country over here in the filters and I can choose the value only as India. So instead of just choosing all the values, just check India, click on apply and OK. So this is showing you all the values in India. So this can also be a good approach, but for now, I will just press Ctrl Z. This would be the thing that I will be doing in the dashboard. Then we need to find some restaurant list. So we have already made all the visuals, but we haven't showed all the restaurants that were present in our data. So for that, I will just click on the restaurant names and maybe I can, now it is showing me the values of all the restaurant names. Now I can show some additional information as well. For example, what is the cost for two people over there? So for that, I have this price range and the average cost for two options. So let's first go for the average cost for two options. I will double click on this and it would then show me the average cost for two. Now, the thing to understand over here is these restaurants appear many times sometimes in our data set. So it is showing me the combined sum of average. Now, I don't want to see the average cost for two in the sum format. So for that, I will click over here and instead of the measure as sum, I'll be choosing the measure as the average. Now I can see the correct values. Also, I need to find out what is the price range of a particular restaurant because I know these restaurants were divided in these price ranges. So if I quickly go to my data source over here, you can see the restaurants were divided in these price range where the price range were from 1 to 5. 5 being maybe the costliest restaurants and 3, 2 being maybe the cheaper ones. So over here, I will go in my sheet and I will double click on this price range so that the price range should also appear over here. Now this price range is also coming as sum. I don't need to see the sum. I can go in this, go in the measure of sum option and I can choose the value as average and it would show me the average price. Now you need to fit it in the width. So you can choose this fit width option. And now it is showing you everything in a good format. Again, this is the one which is a bit tricky one in terms of formatting. Now you need to combine the formatting so that it matches the formatting of other visuals. For example, this visual is having black as background and orange as text over here. So I need to copy this formatting, come over here, just paste this formatting for now. Now there are too many things that I need to change in this. The first one is the text color. As the background has already been colored to black, now I need to change this text color as well. So go in the text option, click on this text, choose the text and change the color to orange. So all the text color has now been changed to orange. But what about these texts? So for these texts, I can go over here in the visual, click on the format option And over here, I'll be getting the shading option. Go in the shading option, and for the sheet option, you can just change the color of the sheet. Let's say if you want to first change the color of this font for now, you can go in this font option. Over here, I can quickly make the changes and choose everything to be orange. So over here also in the tooltip, I'll make it orange for now. The title also would be orange. Okay. So the rows and columns seems fine to me. All are in orange format for now. Now go in the shading option. And now I need to change the color of it as well. So over here in the sheet option, we have this pane and header option, which are still showing as none. So I will change this color to be black for now. So make everything black so that it matches with your background. Okay. Now this has been changed to black. The other thing to notice would be that here still I'm getting the alternate values as white. This is because of this banding option. So you can see the row banding and column banding option over here. And whenever the color over here is different, it won't be matching. So I need to change this header color and the pane color as well. So now I am able to identify these values easily because now they are not alternatively colored. So in this way, you can match the formatting of your visual with your previous visuals. And then if you are having the text table, you can change the values in these format. Again, you need to change the text for the sheet. So it is the restaurant list. So make it restaurant list, select it, make it centrally aligned, click on apply and okay. Okay. Now this has been centrally aligned. If you want to change this sheet name as well, again, double click over here, select this, copy, and you can just directly come over here and paste this value. So you can see when I was changing the sheet name over here, it was not changing this bottom part. So the best thing to do would be first you need to go over here, right click on it, click on rename and then rename it. It would automatically change the sheet name on your workspace. Now this method will be saving you a lot of time if you don't want to invest your time in renaming your sheet two different times. So now all the visuals are ready. So now let's roll back to our previous visuals and see what are the visuals that we have made and what is the importance for that. This first visual is showing me the total number of restaurants in a city, where I can check and uncheck any city and it would be changing the values. Then I have this top 5 cities with maximum number of restaurants where it tells me which is the city which is having highest number of restaurants. Over here also you can see this text is shown to me in white. So I will again go in the labels option and I will quickly change the text color to be orange. So we are verifying everything on the go that whether everything is matching the formatting or not. This is because whenever I'm putting everything on the dashboard, all the formats should match with one another. There should not be any white space if I'm not having any white background. And so that's all the visuals can be shown merged into the top of one another. So there should not be any vacant spaces between them. Then I have this total number of restaurants in a country where whenever I am choosing this filter, the total number of restaurants would be changing over here. Then I have these all cuisines option where I can see all the cuisines that are being served and the highest selling cuisine be shown to me in the highest size. Then I have top 5 cuisines where the top 5 cuisines are shown. So here you can see I have North Indian, Chinese, fast food, Mughlai and Italian which are highly being sold in our whole data set. Also the text for it needs to be formatted. So I will go in the label option, choose this text option, select it and change the text color to orange. Now I know this is too much back and forth, but you need to see everything and you need to change every font that is out there to match it with your all the visualization fonts. Then we have the highest rated restaurant, which is showing me the name of the restaurant, which is highly being rated. Then I have the serviceable countries, which is basically a map and it is showing me in which countries does our food partner deliver. Then we have the serviceable cities, which basically means all the cities in which there are these food delivery partners present. Then we have the restaurant list in which I can see the list of all the restaurants along with the average cost for two people and their average price. So after making out these visualizations, you can add some additional filters. Let's say if you want to add a filter over here where the user can just pull a slider and choose their average cost for two and also the average price range. For that, what you can do is, so you can pick this average cost for two option and put it in the filter. We have already talked about the measure filters in our previous session, where whenever you are dragging and dropping any kind of measure in the filters, this value would be popping up and you can choose all values for now. And then you would be getting this option of slider, where the user can just drag the slider and then arrange the values as they like. So it would be giving them the range of the values from which till which value they would like to see the list appearing. You can just click over here and use show filter option. Again, you need this average price range option. So I will be choosing this average price range option as well. So I just drag and drop it over here, choose all values, next, and click on apply and OK. And you can see there are these 1 to 4 values over here. So just choose this price range option, choose show filter, and the price range filter would be appearing over here. So just let me pull it a bit down. If you don't want to see this price range option, what you can do is you can change the format of it. So let's say if you don't want to see these value, you want to fix one of the values, so you can use at least an X value as well. So that is up to you. And as you are dragging and dropping this, you can see the values will be changing over here. Let's say I don't want to see the price range of 1 to 2. I just want to see the price range of 3 to 2. So whatever values are appearing over here would be disappearing based on this slider. So just let me bring it to 3 and 4. Yeah. So all the restaurant names with average price range, sorry, from 3 to 4 would be appearing over here. So this is one of the ways in which you can give the user freedom to use this slider, and then they can filter out the whole list and they can only choose the restaurant which are suitable for them. Now the next thing to do would be to match the color of these filters with a visualization. For that, what you can do is you can go on this filter, click over here, and over here where it says format filters and set controls, you can just change the font type. So right now it is orange. Over here, the body where it says shading, I will make it black for now so that it matches with us. So now all the filters have now been changed to the color black and the font is orange. Okay. In this way, the formatting can be done for filters as well. Now you can do the same kind of formatting in the other filters as well. So over here, I was having the city filters. So I will just quickly click on it, choose the format filter and set controls option. Over here in the font option, I can choose the font color to be orange. And in the shading option, I will choose the shading to be black. Over here also in the body option, I will choose the font color to be orange. Now it looks good. You can do the same thing for the other as well. So you can change this one as well. Now, since we have all the visuals ready, we would be putting it one by one in our dashboard. And now we'll be able to make our complete dashboard with the help of these visuals and filters as well. So let's go to the dashboard option now and see how can we create a dashboard with the help of all these filters. So since now we have already created all the visualizations that are required to create our dashboard, first I'll be showing you a sample dashboard, and after it we'll be looking at how can we make that dashboard ourselves. So this is one of the sample dashboards that I have created with the help of our own data. And if I make it in the presentation mode, you will be able to see that it shows first of all the total number of restaurants that are applicable throughout our dataset. The second visual is number of cities in a particular country that it is servicing. The third one is the total number of restaurants in each city. So right now these both count are similar because it is counting the complete restaurants and it is also counting the complete restaurants right now. We haven't specified a specific city right now, and all these things would be specified from these filters. So whatever city I choose over here, the data would be changing according. Over here, we have top 5 cities with maximum restaurants. So this is encompassing the complete list that we are having. Next, we are having the top 5 cuisines that are popular in these cities. So the first one is the North Indian, then we have Chinese, fast food, Mughlai, and Italian. Then we already know we created two maps. The first one was showing us the serviceable countries. The second one was showing us the serviceable city. Then at the bottom part, we are having the complete restaurant list, and then we are having the popular cuisines in those restaurants. So now the question is, how would a user interact with this and what can we do to make the user interact with our visualizations, as well as they should take the benefit of these filters along with it. So now let's say a user wants to see the average cost of restaurants, and based on that average cost, they want to filter any restaurants. Or let's say first they want to choose any city or country, And according to their need, they can then easily verify what are the list of those restaurants present in that particular city and country. How would they do it? So the idea behind this is that the first the user should go to the country. So right now these are uh, just jumbled. So we need to arrange them one by one. First we need to put up the country, then the city, then the average cost of two, or maybe the price range. So first the user would be going into the country option and then they would be choosing the desired country. After they have chosen the desired country, our visualization over here would be changed. So it is already showing us the most like cuisines. And on the left hand side, we have these top 5 cities with maximum restaurants. Over here, you can see the number of cities in the countries has changed. And just don't pay attention to the total number of restaurants for now. I know the filter is being applied to this also, but we will make sure that these filters are not applied to some fixed values so that over here you can see the overall values. On the right hand side, we have this total number of restaurants. So these are basically depicting the overall restaurants present in India right now. It is not specifying any specific city. So over here also in the map, you can see on the first map, it is showing the country as India. And on the next map, it is showing me all the cities which are serviceable in that region. Now, let's say if a user chooses any specific city. For example, user wants to see what are the restaurants famous in Delhi. So they will just go down and select Delhi from over here. So now again, you can see that it is listing out the complete list of cities. Over here, when we were talking about the context filters in our previous lectures, we already saw that how to create a context filter. So the use of context filter would over here would be that first the user would be able to select the country, and then whenever they are selecting any city, so only those cities would be shown which are applicable to that particular country which has been selected. So over here, user can go and select New Delhi. Again, after user has selected New Delhi, you can see that multiple things would be changing over here based on those. So all the restaurants that would be present in those regions should have been shown over here. And that would be the logic that would be applying to this filter as well. Then the user can basically just drag the slider and just make it below. Let's say they want the average cost of two to not exceed 1500. So the user can go over here and put the average cost as the minimum 0 and the maximum is 1500. And when they scroll down, all the values that would be listed over here should show the restaurant in which the average cost for two should not exceed 1500. So over here you can see the cost of two is going 1200, 1500, and even 600. So only those particular restaurants should be shown. Or maybe if they just decrease this price range, so it should automatically change the restaurants and different items should be listed over here based on that particular price. So over here you can see now these particular values have changed and also the values over here have changed. So right now I think there were Italian was on top, now it has came down. So based on these values it should change. Now what should you do in order to make a dashboard of this kind and also to make filters of these kind where it can interact with all your worksheets? So first, let's say we will be taking this particular dashboard as a reference to the new dashboard that we are going to create. So I know that first we have total number of restaurants, number of cities, and number of restaurants in a particular city. So let me create a new dashboard. Over here, if you can see, this is utilizing this space only wherever the white region is there. The blank region is not being utilized. So in size, I will go in size and over here instead of the range, first I will choose the automatic size option for now. Then we can also increase or decrease the size as per our need. So let's say if your dashboards are not able to fit your complete visualizations over here. So what you would do is you will go in the fixed size option and here you can manually change the sizes. So right now I'm keeping it as fixed. Then let's say if you drag this horizontal container over here, this horizontal container is pretty useful because it can store multiple visuals in a horizontal manner. And also it would be very helpful if you just want to drag and increase or decrease the size of a specific visual. So first we have to put the total number of restaurants. So I can just drag it over here and drop it. Now you can see when I drag and drop this, the complete list is shown but it doesn't include all these values. So let me do all over here and all over here also so that it can show you the list of complete cities and countries and it should then sum up that whole numbers and show the rest of the numbers over here. So now you want your users to interact with these filters. So you don't need to provide your filters like this. We know that user would be able to choose one value at a time. For that, what you can do is you can click on this and you can change the filter type. Let's say you can keep over here single value drop down. So the user would be able to select city easily. The same thing you would be doing with this country. So go on the country filter, choose this and choose the single value drop down option from here. Now this part is sorted. The next part you want to see is that total number of serviceable cities. So over here I am having this total number of cities. So I will just drag it and bring it over here. Okay, so I got these two. Now we have this total number of restaurants in a city. Again, drag and drop it over here. Then I have the highest rated restaurant. So whenever a user would be choosing these filters, I want that the user should be able to see that what is the highest rated restaurant in that particular community. So that whenever they want to make any choice that from where should I order, they should know that whatever country and city I'm choosing, this is the highest rated restaurant and maybe this is the famous one or many people have visited over here, so that it would make their decision very easy to choose a restaurant from. So I can drag this highest rated restaurant over here also in the right, and it is showing me the values. Now it would be bringing some additional filters with itself because these filters right now are linked with these particular visualizations. So I don't need this filter for now. So what I can do is I can click over here and I can select remove from dashboard option. So now I'm having these four boxes. The next part is I want to show the top 5 cities with maximum restaurant and also the top 5 cuisines. For that, I know that here is the top 5 cities with maximum restaurants. So I will drag it and I will bring it over here. I will do the same thing for the top 5 cuisines. So I will just drag it and bring it over here so that it covers the maximum space. Okay, so now this looks good. In the meantime, what you can do is you can drag this and you can just shift it towards upward section so that it doesn't cover too much space and it is also looking good. So over here, if you are able to see this part, that it is showing some white space. I don't want to see white space at all in the background. So you can go in the layout option and over here, the borders are right now locked, but this won't be locked when you are choosing the fixed option. So over here, I have chosen the fixed option right now. So let's again select this part only. So I will just press escape. So it's locked right now. So we'll get to it in some time after I have selected everything over here. So first let's go to the dashboard and we'll look at it in some time. So now after I have dropped these two bar charts, the next part is the serviceable countries and serviceable city. For that, I will again go to the dashboard. Over here, I will find serviceable countries, just bring it over here, and then serviceable cities and bring it over here. Now you can see the bars have changed. They are still depicting the data, but these may be small or large depending on the size. So over here, what I need to do is I still need to fit two visuals. These two visuals include the total list of the restaurants in the text table format and all the cuisines over here, which are basically famous. So these would also be changing. So I will again go to the dashboard and over here, I will just drag and drop this total restaurant list. So I will drag this restaurant list, drop it over here. And the same thing I will be doing with all the cuisines. So I will just drag and drop all these cuisines over here. Okay. This now looks good. Now, the next thing to do is, as you can see, it is not able to fit the complete space as I need some more space to be very precise. So over here, I will go in the customize size and over here, I can easily change the size. Let's say the width of the dashboard, I don't want to keep it as 1594. Let's increase it a bit. Let's say I want to keep it as 1650. And for the height part, let's say I want to keep the height as 900. Okay. After you have changed the height, you will be able to see that the dashboards is easily able to fit every visual now. Like it is being able to adapt the size. So now what I'll do is I will just increase or decrease the size based on as per my need. So over here, I'm increases the size of these maps. So I will be going to that value until which these don't start to disappear. You can see this was starting to disappear. So I won't be moving forward. Now what I can do is I can just increase the size a bit more. If you need some additional space, let's say if you want to keep it as 1200, I will make it as 1200. Now let's try to increase the size of these maps. This is the part which will consume you most of the time because you need to fit everything in the space and you don't want any information to be lost in the way because every information that you have placed over here is very very important. So you want to keep every kind of information over here. And when you are changing the size and making these size custom, so the one thing that you will be noticing is that every visual is trying to adapt some size. So you want that visual also to make the room for itself. So over here also, you can see these filters started to disappear. So I will just bring it over here. Okay, just drag it over here. Let's try to decrease the size of these top 5 cuisines a bit. Okay. And if it is not fitting, what you can do is you can click over here and you can make it floating. So if you are able to make it floating, then you can just increase and decrease the size. This is also a good way. And this is used particularly when it is not able to fit the size. And now you can see that I'm able to move these easily. So whatever filters are there, they would be easily moved. So just place it over here for the time being. and just decrease the size of it. You can also see that these visuals are able to adapt the size based on these filters. So right now, I don't want the filters to capture more size. I want only these part to capture the size more, and these should be in a smaller size. So a good thing to do on the way would be just make these floating. So over here, if you come and you can make it floating. So now what would happen is, since this is already in a container, so you'll be able to place it very easily. Okay. And if things start to float here and there, no need to worry. You always have the chance to undo and just try to fit it. Okay. Let's try to fit it in this way only for now. Or maybe I will just decrease the width of this visual for now and see what would happen. Yeah, let's keep it like this right now. After you have arranged everything, so let me bring it again towards this part. Okay. So now we have this additional room for the filters. So if it is taking that room, what I can do is I can take this over here. So country, then the city, then the average cost of two, and also you can insert this price range. So this would be a good way to see. I still have this blank space over here, so we can fill it in the future with some more filters that you want to see. So now you can just arrange these in orders. Okay, now it looks fine. Now we also have this text table. So now we need to increase the size of this text table, and I also need to increase the size of this. Okay, now it's looking fine. So if you want to see it in presentation, what you can do is we have this option of presentation over here. You can just view it in the presentation mode, and this would be the thing that would be the final part. Like this is the way in which this visual would be shown to your stakeholders. So you can see this white space over here. So we already talked about the size. In size, we saw how can we arrange this size. So right now we know that if we increase the width of this, it would be easily able to adapt the size. So for that, I can go in the size option, and over here in custom size, what I can do is instead of 1650, I can make it 1800. Now, a thing to notice would be that in which device are you trying to utilize this dash. So let's say if you are viewing it in mobile, so things might not look too good over there, or tablet, things might be wide over there. But if you are viewing it in a, let's say, projector, so it would be looking bit different. So you need to arrange the size in that manner that whatever device you are using, your dashboard should look fine. So whenever you are doing some presentation mode and finding this white space over here, make sure to fill that white space and use this width and height carefully. Whatever width and height you would be choosing over here, be reflecting over there. So I'll be again playing with the size and trying to find out, okay, right now the white space has been less. Okay. So this is the part that is done. Now over here, the another thing that you can do is you can add some text over here. Or let's say if you want to add some images over here, if you want to add a brand logo, what would you do? So again, you would be going over here, and we have already talked about the image part. See what you can do is you can put this image over here. Over here, it says insert image file. So what I can do is I can choose any image that I want to keep over here, and then I can arrange it based on that particular visualization size. So over here, I can just increase or decrease the size of this image. So I'm not keeping any image for now. So I just quickly press Control Z. And I was just trying to show you that this is one of the way in which you can add a brand logo over here also. If the stakeholders want to see this, or if it's a like presentation kind of stuff, so you can easily add some brand logo. A good way to do it would be adding the title over here also. For title, we have already talked about how you can add this text. So if you just paste this text over here, and you can write whatever text is required. Let's say if I write over here, Swiggy dashboard, you can choose the size. Let's say I want to keep the size as 15. I will make it orange and make it in center. So this text would be coming over here. Now the remaining things are you have to go on this text, and you have to format this, and you have to change the alignment and make it in the center. You can also try to change the background color to black, and this would be very helpful for you because you are already using this in this orange and black theme, so it would be very wise to use the same format everywhere. So right now I'm just removing it for the time being. Okay, so I think this is the final dashboard that I want to see. Over here I can easily see the number of restaurants, number of cities in a country, number of total restaurants in a city. Then I have the highest rated restaurant, top 5 cities with maximum restaurants, top 5 cuisines, serviceable countries, serviceable cities, restaurant lists, and all cuisines. Now, let's say if you want to apply any filter over here. For example, over here, whatever price range is given, you want to see the restaurants based on that, or maybe the average cost of it. How would you do it? So whenever you are choosing any filter, a thing to notice over there would be, let's say in this country, I'm choosing Australia as an option. After choosing this, you can see this visual changed. But on the left hand side, where it said top 5 cities with maximum restaurants, here I'm not able to see any value. Now, what happened over there? So remember, whenever you are choosing any filter, a thing to notice would be that this filter is applied to which visual particular. For that, what I can do is I can go in any filter. For example, let's say if you want to go in the city filter, and let's say if you want to choose any different city from over here, like you want to know what is famous in Amritsar. Over here, you chose Amritsar, and still the results didn't change for this top 5 cuisine. Now, what can I do to change the results? So let's keep it all for now. Over here, there is this arrow. If you select this, it would ask you where do you want to apply this filter. If you want to apply a specific filter to the complete worksheet, you can go over here and apply to worksheet option and then select all using this data source. Now, whatever visuals you have created, and if they are using the same data source, that particular filter will be applied anywhere. If you only want to apply it for a selected number of worksheets, let's say right now you only want to apply it top 5 cuisines and serviceable cities, what would you do? I will go to this option where it says selected worksheets, and here I will select top 5 cuisines, maybe all cuisines option, and highest rated restaurant option also. I will click on apply, and let's say right now the highest rated restaurant was showing Atlanta Highway Seafood Market. And also over here where it says all cuisines, there were different cuisines, and I was able to see the most famous ones in higher sizes. So now, whenever I'm going in the city and I'm choosing a different city, Amritsar I have chosen this time. You can see these values have changed. Also, these values have changed. Right now, also, North Indian is quite famous over there, but you can see the other cuisines are not present because these other cuisines are not available in that specific region. If you want to apply the same filter in this restaurant list also, because we want the users to see the restaurant list finally. So what you can do is you can again go in this more options, apply to worksheets, selected worksheets, and this time right now all these options were checked. So I can quickly select this restaurant list option also and click on apply. So now let's say you are the end user. You go in this dashboard, and let me make it into presentation mode so it would be easier to look at. And you want to see that what is the city famous for, like what is the famous restaurants in cities and what are the list of those restaurants in the city. So you can go in the city option, and over here, let's say I'm choosing Ahmedabad. After you go to Ahmedabad, you can find out what are the top 5 cuisines that are famous over there. So surprisingly, Italian is the most famous in Ahmedabad. If you just scroll down, you can also find out the other options that are available over there, and also what are the restaurant lists that are present in that particular city. In this way, whenever you are making any filter, so over here I cannot see this highest rated restaurant. This is because the filter that was applied to this previously doesn't match with these filters. So remember, whenever you are trying to create any filter and you try to apply it on any worksheet, you should make sure that it is relevant to that particular worksheet. As for example, over here, the total number of restaurants have now changed. Instead of this, what I need to do is I need to change the objects over here. So whatever options are coming over here, I need to keep that changing, and I need to make this total number of restaurants fixed. So I won't be applying the filters to this total number of restaurants. Instead, I would apply the filters to this part. So this is very, very important whenever you are trying to create dashboard. So in this project, we learned how can we create different visuals. Then we learned how can we arrange these visuals over here on the top of our dashboard. Then we also saw how can we make some filters, and then we can make these worksheets relevant to our filters. In the next part, when we'll be talking about some next project, we will also see whatever dashboards you are creating over there, how can you upload it to the server so that they can be easily viewed next time? Or maybe if you want others to look at those particular dashboards, how can you make them look at it? And also, if you want to make them interact with those dashboards, how can you make it possible? So these would be the thing that we'll be looking at in the next session when we'll be talking about a next project. Also, we'll be also seeing that how can you add different layers of colors over here. So right now you can see it is shown in white. So the first part that we'll be covering is we can just make this background as black for now, and we can also go in each visualization and choose these colors, and we can make those black, and it would be shown in a good way. So this is also a kind of thing. These all things would be included in the formatting. So I would request you to go through these formatting options and see whichever formatting option suits your need. So this was the one that I just created. This was the one which I created for the reference. If you look at it closely, both are very, very different. So the object placement is same over here, or on the right hand side, if you see, I have given the filters over here. So this is very easy to interact with all. So you need to see which particular option works best for you, and in that way you can arrange your filters and sheets. So this was all for this session. We will be meeting in the next session where we'll be talking about a different project, and that would be probably the Netflix dashboard.